they're like, oh, the fans need to spend more money. The reality is fans need to spend money the way they want to spend money. If a fan wants to see a player, they can see a player. Like, it's not the fault of a fan.
That when they walk in the gym, you have to guard them. And I think the way the game is played has allowed her to showcase that skill, to be able to take that shot. That shot's being a good shot.
Geno Auriemma recently claimed that Paige Bueckers is the best player in America. But if that's really the case, why are crowds lining up to watch Caitlin Clark instead? Before we continue, let me ask you a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More than 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It's completely free, but it helps us more than you might think. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Now back to the topic. Something doesn't quite add up, and Geno's frustration is becoming more obvious. The longtime UConn coach is dealing with a problem he never expected, one that's reshaping women's basketball as a whole. There was a time when UConn women's basketball was the most in-demand show in the sport. Those days, however, appear to be over. It's hard to believe, but the program that once sold out arenas nationwide is now performing in front of half-empty crowds, with attendance dropping from packed venues to just 4,000 to 6,000 fans per game.
And in some instances, teams chose to actually move games to larger venues to accommodate the fanfare of Caitlin coming to town.
Yesterday, in a game in the Bahamas, UConn played for 567 people.
That's a huge drop compared to the sellout crowds they once took for granted. But this isn't just about empty seats. UConn games used to be appointment viewing. Everyone tuned in to watch their dominance. Now, viewers are switching channels almost instantly. TV ratings are falling, and fans are choosing to spend their time watching other programs instead. Iowa has become the new must-see team, with Caitlin Clark packing arenas wherever she plays. Geno Auriemma, the legendary coach who built this powerhouse from the ground up, clearly isn't handling the shift well. Fans are disappearing, and so is his patience. It's almost unthinkable, Geno, with all his titles and accolades, essentially pleading for people to come to the games. Yet here we are. He's openly expressing his frustration, searching for answers about why the crowds have vanished. What's really causing UConn's attendance to fall? He recently asked. Some believe the decline is tied to the team no longer dominating the way it once did. For a program that ruled the sport for decades, that reality is hard to accept. But things get even more revealing when former UConn players speak up. They're stunned by the lack of fan energy and openly shocked at how much the program has slipped. Compared to the glory years they remember, the difference is striking, and the disappointment in their voices says it all.
The biggest draw in American sports today, CC22, Caitlin Clark Kent. That's just the truth.
One, they fall in love with all my players because of the way they play and the way they conduct themselves. And they go, yeah, he really is a shit.
Geno is trying to stay positive, saying things like fans fall in love with his players because of how they perform and carry themselves on the court. But it's obvious there's a gap between that belief and reality. The connection just isn't there anymore. Fans aren't buying in the way they once did. That raises the biggest question of all. Is Paige Bueckers truly delivering on the massive expectations at UConn? Geno has labeled her the best player in the country, but if that's the case, why aren't crowds showing up? Why aren't viewers tuning in to watch her play? And this may only be the start of UConn's troubles. The once solid foundation is beginning to crack, and it's unclear whether Geno can fix it. A dynasty that looked untouchable for decades is suddenly showing signs of weakness. In college sports, once the decline begins, stopping it can be incredibly difficult. While UConn's empire appears to be fading, a new star is taking over. Caitlin Clark isn't just drawing packed arenas, she's shattering records along the way. And here's the twist that makes it even more striking. Geno Auriemma had the opportunity to recruit her, and chose not to.
If Caitlin Clark is on the team, it becomes the right team. Because Caitlin Clark is on it. It's like saying Michael Jordan's not on the right team.
In what looks to be you can see there's a stage. Oh my god, they're not even playing on in a basketball gym. They're literally playing in what looks to be an auditorium.
As Clark continues to take over the game, Geno is left replaying the past and wondering how different things could have been. Just how badly did that recruiting decision come back to haunt him? Let's break it down. Clark isn't just well-liked, she's a full-blown phenomenon. Iowa is pulling in around 15,000 fans per game, even after her graduation, which is absolutely unheard of. Contrast that with the half-empty UConn arenas we talked about earlier. Wherever Iowa goes, it's a sellout, and fans can't get enough of Clark's explosive style of play. What makes this even more unbelievable is that Geno had a real opportunity to bring Clark to UConn and missed it. Clark has openly said she loved UConn and thought it was the coolest program in the country. She desperately wanted that offer, but it never came. Imagine how that realization must hit now. Watching Clark dominate night after night has to sting for Auriemma. Around the league, coaches are calling her a true game changer, saying you have to pick her up defensively the moment she walks into the gym.
Doing all that talking online, but when it comes to the proof, it is in the pudding. When it comes to the numbers, when it comes to the black and the white.
Paige Bueckers goes to the Bahamas, 500 people. And repeat, 500. 500 people. They are playing.
That's exactly the type of superstar UConn used to produce year after year. Now, instead of leading the charge, they're watching from the outside as Clark continues to rewrite the record books. And this is where things take a wild turn. Geno once questioned whether Clark's game would even translate to the WNBA. He bluntly said she wasn't built for the league, a comment that hasn't aged well. Fast forward to her rookie season, and Clark is proving everyone wrong. She's putting up 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. That's the definition of making critics eat their words. Suddenly, Auriemma's tone has completely changed. Now he's praising Clark as one of the most extraordinary players the game has ever seen. But the question remains, did that praise come too late? It gets even more interesting. Geno reportedly tried to lure Clark into his new 3-on-3 league, Unrivaled, offering a massive payday, over $1 million. But Clark shut it down, choosing rest after an exhausting season instead. And here's the detail that speaks volumes. When Clark's name was missing from the Unrivaled roster, Geno didn't hide his frustration. At this point, it feels like every move involving Caitlin Clark ends with another loss for him.
Just because fans of Caitlin Clark will pay to see her play. Like, that's the reality situation. Is it's nothing to, there's never blame the consumer or the viewer for what they like.
Geno Auriemma, Caitlin Clark again. The world turns. It's Caitlin Clark's world. We just live on planet Caitlin.
First, he missed the chance to recruit her. Then she went on to prove every one of his doubts wrong. Now, she's even turning down his biggest money offers. That kind of sequence has to hurt. The reality is clear. UConn's empire appears to be falling apart just as Caitlin Clark's star continues to soar. It's hard not to imagine Geno Auriemma replaying that missed opportunity over and over in his mind. Watching it all unfold feels like a real-life basketball drama. The question now is whether this marks the end of UConn's long reign, or if Geno still has one last move to change the story. What was once an untouchable powerhouse suddenly looks unstable, and fans everywhere are starting to wonder if the magic that defined the program is gone for good.
Are you in the black? Or are you in the red? Are you showing up? Or are you bluffing?
Touching the ball or not, you have to guard her when she steps into the gym. And so I don't think we've seen anything like that in women's basketball. I've played against a number of great shooters.
One thing is undeniable. Women's basketball will never be the same. Clark isn't just setting records, she's completely redefining what's possible. She's pulling in viewers who never paid attention to women's hoops before, expanding the audience in ways the sport hasn't seen. And as this new era takes shape, UConn finds itself rushing to adapt, trying to keep pace in a landscape that's been permanently transformed.